the planet Earth.
Some call me nature.
I am very passionate about the planet
Earth.
A living, breathing planet capable of sustaining whatever life forms we see fit to deposit on it.
Spock, judging by the pollution content of the atmosphere, I believe we have arrived.
It's the planet stupid.
No, it's the planet stupid.
Our guide for It's the Planet Stupid is Belinda Waymouth. Hi, Belinda. I'm sorry. I want you still to take all the time you want. You have no constraints at all.
I'm not angry with you. I've got my own little nibbling story we're going to get to in a minute with cyanobacteria. But
okay, I know. No.
So all good.
All right, all good. Let's feel happy. Because I read the chat and of course every little negative thing, so I assume everybody's angry with me. Now let's talk about a couple of stories related to this great place that we live that we're sadly not doing so well by. There's a good story to start with, right?
Yep. Oh, I love the story, and it's about charismatic megafauna, and we human beings love our big furry animals. So why don't we start with tigers?
Okay.
So there has been a win for tigers. They have been caught breeding in a sanctuary in Thailand, which is really big news. So the story of the tiger is it starts out bad and then it's going to get good. So what happened was at the beginning of the 20th century, it was estimated there were 100,000 tigers in the world. And then by 2010, we were down to 3,200 tigers, which is a massive drop. And what happened is the usual story. 95% of their habitat was gone because of habitat destruction, poaching, people after bamboo, blah, 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 blah. So terrible. But it was this big tiger wake-up moment. And what happened was 13 countries that have tigers, ranging through them said, okay, we're going to double the populations of our tigers. And that hasn't quite happened. They're now putting world population at about 5,574, but obviously that could be, changing by the minute. The two countries that have doubled the population are Nepal and India, so shout out to them, they did it. But what happened in Thailand is they've got different areas, sanctuaries that they monitor. And it's not just, that you put in cameras to detect poaching and you stop habitat destruction, going after the bamboo, extending the size of farms, blah, blah, blah. You also have to make sure that the tigers have something to eat. So in Thailand, that's samba deer. So you have to make sure there are enough of their prey animals. And what they spotted this week was these tigers. And at first they thought it was a mother with just 2 cubs. And then they realized it was a mother with 3 cubs. So this is the first time in 10 years of monitoring that they have seen cubs. And this is huge because it means that and you can see they're not teeny. These cubs are 18 months old. And it shows how hard it is to actually get a camera sighting. But what it shows is that their habitat was healthy enough. There was enough food, enough, land area for this mother to be able to do the biz and have 3 babies. So this is big. This is good.
Wow. Michael says, my recently departed mother gave away lots of money to save tigers. Yeah.
Well, look, it paid off. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That really is. It's nice to start with some good news. What else do you have for us?
Okay, so this is another good news story, and this is out of Colorado. It's a company called Prometheus Materials, and they have come up with, and this is really cool, and there are lots and lots of companies, by the way, that are working on how do we make a more eco-friendly cement. Because right now, cement it's the Portland cement, and Portland cement, which makes most of the world's concrete. Cement is the gooey stuff that binds together the sand and the stones, and then you get the concrete and you make all the buildings. And this is huge because concrete creates 8% of our global emissions. It's really big. And the reason why China has the highest emissions in the world for many years now is because of how the growth of their cities and all the concrete that they're using, roads, buildings, blah, blah, blah. And the estimates are that concrete use is actually going to increase by another 23% by the year 2050. So it's really a big deal to have a concrete that does the opposite of what Portland cement does. What Portland cement does is it takes calcium carbonate and in a very fiery, fossil fuel, carbon spewing process, breaks it down and creates the cement and also a lot of CO2. So what Prometheus is doing is they're using a cyanobacteria, which nibbles the CO2 out of the atmosphere. Cyanobacteria is blue or green algae. So basically, we're talking pond scum. So it takes the CO2 out of the atmosphere and then to breed in these little farms. And then it is turned into this gooey cement. So it's doing the opposite of what these are the building blocks that it makes. It's doing the opposite of what Portland cement does. And this, as I said, because of the vast amounts of concrete that we're already manufacturing. I mean, they say we manufacture enough concrete per week to build a whole Paris or to build a whole other New York. So concrete is huge. And if we can use this kind of concrete, which is doing the opposite, sucking the CO2 out of the atmosphere as opposed to putting more CO2 in, it's a huge environmental win. And there's also a really beautiful ecological symmetry, which I just, have to mention because it's amazing. So billions of years ago, cyanobacteria, when it started photosynthesizing, taking CO2 out of the atmosphere and creating oxygen, it made life on Earth possible for other species, such as ourselves. And now it could be going to do the same again by sucking the excess CO2 that we're putting up into this, the atmosphere and making the planet not so hospitable. It could be helping mitigate that. So I think.
Wow. What an exciting piece of news. It's really cool that you have two really positive news stories to kick us off. Is the momentum behind this new kind of consistency, there's momentum to do more of this, yes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, so this came out of Colorado University. It's, civil engineering and biochemistry. They're getting funding. And they're not the only organization that are making a bio-concrete alternative to, or bio cement as an alternative to Portland cement. So, yeah, it's really big. And it's one of those innovations that just makes so much sense, And it comes from a bacteria, that is in the, that we have anyway. I mean, let's put pond scum to use. Let's put all that algae that, that we're creating by the eutrophication of our rivers and lakes. Let's put
pond scum to use. Yes. All right. Now, who is it? Somebody said something very funny. I thought it was clever anyway. It was Edward Lee. Okay, let's get to the doom and gloom. All right, so that you've given us the positive.
Yeah. Well, I do. There are more positive things. I mean, Biden announced this week that there are going to be 7,500 more EV charging stations over 22 states. They're putting a $623 million chunk of money into more and more EV stations. When Biden came into office, we had a very small sort of network federally, and now we're up to 170,000 EV charging stations, and his goal is to get us to 500,000. So
yeah, and that's such a cool thing that you mentioned, the expansion. And two things have to happen. That network has to expand, as you just mentioned, it is expanding. And then, of course, the vehicles have to be, for at least consumers, rechargeable in a timely way, right? Because the one thing that I'd suggest that these combustion engines have going for them is that they pull in and 5 minutes later they're full of gas, right? And they can take off. I have to pull my EV in, and it may take. By the way, you can do it. Sometimes you only have to stop for 10 minutes or something. It's not like a huge commitment of time, but if you want to fill it up and you're going in on E, then it can be a more substantial. Again, it's still not an hour or anything, but it can be a lot. So, but it's great that they're expanding that network because look, you can't have one without the other. You can't just get an EV in every driveway without a way to charge it up.
Yeah. And the other cool thing that's happened is, there used to be this really proprietorial thing. Every car manufacturer, GM, Ford, they had their own charger. So you could only charge with their charging system. Well, now they're all going to, they've said, okay, we will use the Tesla one. And yeah, Elon Musk will make more money. But if you have a universal charger that everybody, can use, and hopefully if Elon Musk is on it, he'll, reduce the charging time for people. I mean, I would say, Mark, when you pull in to recharge, read a book, do a little meditation.
Oh, sure. No, I love it. I love the downtime. Yeah. Get out of the car, walk around,
Exactly. Well, maybe not for you, but I'll say this for every, like this could be a little bit of me time, just to, put my positive spin on it because, I can't help it.
Yes, I know. Well, I will, by the way, ding proprietorial, never used before on this show, the first ever use of the word proprietorial. And I know you're saying, well, is that really a word, proprietorial? I mean, isn't proprietary the word? No, proprietorial is a word. And Belinda, bravo for using it first on the show.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that's
doom and gloom?
That's a little bit of, and you get nothing for it. You get nothing. The idea, though, that you've had 3 solid environmental positive stories is really, it's thrown me off my game.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
Sorry, I know. You're really just destabilized, right?
Where's the end of the planet story that I usually get?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay,
Never
great.
fear.
Please continue. Yeah.
Okay, so the next couple of things I want to talk about are plastics, and this is for Kim because she, like me, very concerned about plastics and what they're doing in the environment. And
Kim, this is for you if you're with us. Okay.
You, Kim. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Kim,
how are you?
I'm going to bring in a solution at the end for one of them. Now, the first one, I've talked about this before on the show. It's ridiculous that we drink water out of plastic bottles. We didn't have them in our childhood. Were you running around dehydrated, either of you? I wasn't. There was a garden hose. There was a tap, faucet. There was, I could get water when I needed it. So this con job that has been done on, the entire global population that we all feel like we have to be walking around with, great big bottle, plastic bottle of water. So here's the thing. We know that there's water. There's plastic in those water bottles. Lots of studies have shown us there are microplastics. They're bad, blah, 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 blah. There was one that found a Nestle bottle had 10,000 microplastics in it, one bottle of water. And here's the thing that I just want to break this down for everybody. Plastic is like our skin. It's sloughing off little bits all the time. So what scientists have now discovered is it's not the microplastics in bottles of water, it's nanoplastics. Now, nanoplastics are teeny tiny. I mean, way tinier than a microplastic. They're, if you can imagine, 1/70th the width of a human strand of hair. So they're absolutely tiny. And what they're finding is there are 100 to 1,000 times more of these nanoplastics in a bottle of water. And they're getting them because the plastic is sloughing off the sides of the bottles. And also there's another plastic called polyamide, which is in a water filter system that the water goes through to be filtered before it gets into your bottle. So
let me guess, that's not good?
Yeah. I mean, hello. So do yourselves a favor, don't drink water out of a plastic bottle. Get your own water bottle and refill it.
Oh my God, you can taste it. You can taste the plastic. You can taste it in the water. It's disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah.
And there are endocrine disruptors, as mentioned, and
and also they get into our blood, and they know that they can get into our brains and our liver. So do yourself a favor and try to cut down on plastic. I mean, the problem is plastic is so ubiquitous. And I'm not saying that to get a ding. I'm just saying it because plastic is everywhere.
Yeah.
But so the other story that I was thinking about this week is, a lot of us, that's a great visualization of it. Right?
We're killing ourselves with it. We're killing ourselves. We're
killing the oceans. We're choking off everything with this stupid. And it's a petroleum based product. Make no mistake about it.
It's a hydrocarbon. It comes from oil.
Right.
So
Sorry, we have another minute or two. Go ahead.
Okay. So then very quickly, I want to get to people using laundry detergents that they think are eco-friendly and good. So people are using those sheets, which they think are just dehydrated soap, and they throw them in. And they're also using things. So my husband got these things. They're those little pods that come in a little. Can you guys see this? So they come in a little,
sure.
Pillowcase for the pod, and that is made out of a plastic called polyvinyl alcohol, and it has been deemed by the EPA to be safe. But what they're finding is that this plastic, which is in the laundry sheets that everyone thinks are so eco, and also in these little pods, is it only breaks down in a wastewater treatment facility if there are the right microbes present. And what they're finding is this plastic is in drinking water. It's been found in breast milk. So not as good as we thought it was. And there was one company that, as soon as this research started coming out, True Earth, which had been marketing, their eco-friendly laundry detergent, is plastic-free, took that down off their website. Other bigger manufacturers of laundry detergent aren't, responding, to these guys. And obviously a company like this that wants to be good is going to go, okay, so we can't use, polyvinyl alcohol. It's not okay. I mean, it's listed, on the box of my stuff and as ingredients. So guys, two alternatives. You can go back to the cardboard box with laundry powder.
Yeah, you just pour it in. Right.
Yeah, just pour it in. When I first, was getting cognizant of all the, toxins and barrage of stuff that was coming at me, used these things called soap nuts. They come from Nepal and India. They're actually berries. And you put them in a little linen bag in the washing machine. And when they get in warm water and sort of energized, this it's like a soap comes out of them, and they clean your clothes. My husband didn't trust them. Can you imagine, Mark? Knowing Jake.
So cynical.
Yeah, he was like,
Jake doesn't trust anything.
Don't get the clothes clean. So we're going to use up our box of these guys, and then once they're done,
you're going powder.
I'm going to go to the powder, and I'm going back to soap nuts.
I love. Belinda, I love that you got all of this in such a nice compact segment, and I can't wait to post it for everybody. If anybody missed any of it, we'll drop it as a separate segment. It's the Planet Stupid. Some good news and then some concerning news, but even some things that we can do something about, just even on a consumer level.
Yeah,
so
there are solutions, and we just have to look for them and push for them. And I love the our audience member who talked about his mum giving money to save the tigers, because look, the tigers are being saved. I mean, it's that's
it really works. Yeah. Then there's an urgency to all of this. So all right, Belinda, you can find her on social media. Belinda Waymouth, Waymouth. Thank you, Belinda. It's the Planet Stupid for today.
More.
It's the Planet Stupid. No, it's the Planet Stupid.
Next time, only on The Mark Thompson Show.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.